This is important. The people want to know this.
Ladies and gentlemen, we were having a conversation about the trades. Are plumbers, are they going to be necessary after 10 years?
There are currently an estimated 480,600 plumbers in the United States.
I believe that technology will win over time.
Never. Let's set the date right now. Put a gold
Come
coin
on,
on it.
can you put this in our calendar? 7 years from today.
Let's put a gold coin on it.
If we're already at a deficit for plumbers or tradesmen, it's going to get even lower for the tradesmen that are needed in 10 years.
There's no way that a robot or machine could ever even know what pieces would be required when it opens up a wall.
The military gets it first. We get it second. Maybe third, maybe fourth.
As long as the legend of Mario lives on, plumbers will be strong.
Welcome to the good life.
We've been having a great conversation. We're not going to dive into it too much right now.
Oh, man, put it on wax.
I'll
put it on wax.
We'll put it on wax. Listen, we're just getting in.
Chris made a guarantee.
I made a guarantee. It's not really a guarantee.
A Chuck guarantee.
Really wasn't a guarantee. Ladies and gentlemen, we were having a conversation about the trades. We were having a conversation about our plumbers, electricians, welders, those guys. Are they going to be necessary after 10 years, 7 to 10 years from now? I said no. Kobi and Stu had another opinion. They said absolutely.
I've never been more certain of anything in my life.
And I believe that technology will win over time. It will win over time, and it will replace a lot of the menial jobs that humans do, because computers and technology will be able to do it better than we can. Have we seen it yet? No, but we are close. We are closer than people think to having someone be able to, or virtually walk you through and or get you to third and a half base through their technology. So you only have to fix or change 2 or 3 parts or change 2 or 3 nuts or bolts. And I believe we would be having a different, right? Like we're going to be able to be in a place where we're not needing plumbers, welders, those guys.
Oh, absolutely.
Without totally going into this, anybody that's ever been in construction and dealt with existing conditions, chime in. The level of variables, there's no way that a robot or machine could ever even know what pieces would be required when it opens up a wall and sees what happens.
There's no way.
Like,
I disagree. I just think that I feel like
no way. I can tell you're not a handyman.
I can tell.
No. This is not a call out. I'm gonna just make my case, because what Stu just said, and I'm probably in between you guys, right? Stu, you did this for work, right? Chris, my assertion is that this is not your line of work. You probably awesome, and it's awesome. Put this man in the kitchen. He'll whip up something crazy for you. Some terms I don't even know. Do some things with food I've never even seen, right? And I'm somewhere in the middle. You know, I've worked construction before, but it's not my life's work. And I've seen real estate and in-house and things being opened up. I'm telling you right now, where you are correct is that technology will improve things. That's where you're correct. I agree with that. But where you go wrong and you lose me is replace. You said replace and get rid of. Never. I will push never. Why? I'll give you 2 reasons. One, to what Stu just said, in that one, to get to that level of AI is just there's too many variables. That's number one. Number two, if that does exist, the powers that be that have interest in that not necessarily being the case, because you're talking about people who are currently making money off of that and new folks who will make money off of that. They will, if that technology even does exist, I will present to you that they don't even make that available, right?
Why?
There's a lot of technology that exists now that isn't available, my friend. We don't have to dive into that.
I'm just purely going after this particular one. What do you think the why is here?
The why for what?
The why for, like, they wouldn't allow this particular technology to roll out.
I can't give you the why for this one, but I can give you but I can give you that there is numerous examples right now where I can't tell you why.
Okay.
Where I can't tell you why they do that. I don't know.
I wasn't sure if you had the thing in the chamber like ready to fire that off. So.
Well, what I will tell you is we can just go straight off with the money.
No, I think
somebody ain't making money off of it.
There's an awful lot of unions that are going to push back on that hard.
And the thing is, for what you got to recognize here is that, like, if we just let free reign go of like technology to improve to the level that it's capable of, purely capable of, we will be way further ahead in a lot of different areas. Why aren't we? Like, are we assuming that the capability that is possible with all of these effort, money, research, and stuff that's being put out there, that we are at the absolute apex of what is possible right now? If you think that's the case, then, well, we just have to agree to disagree. Right? So the military gets it first. We get it second, maybe third, maybe fourth, right? Internet as we know it was not built for us. Right, it was built for the military,
right?
You know, and then they were like, "Oh, we're done with this. You can have," all right, or it slipped out somehow, some way, right? A lot of different foods, for a fact, that we eat in the kitchen wasn't built for us to have on a day-to-day basis. It was built for war and soldiers, and to last for an extended period of time. And then it got tossed and be like, "Oh yeah, we could probably make money off of this if we put it out in the public market." Right. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, we're not at the absolute forefront of anything if we think that's the case. There's technology out there that we as people don't have access to. So I can't give you the why that exists.
But that's why I believe that it does exist, because
I'm not saying it does.
The variables, man, the variables.
But all it takes is one company to come in and want to disrupt the industry. That's all. It's a major disruption.
New construction has the most potential for technology to replace a tradesman. But it's tying in new construction to old construction. It's repairing current and existing buildings.
And I just believe
the original 7 to 10 year mark.
Absolutely not, bro. Absolutely not.
I believe someone's.
Let's set the date right now. Put a gold coin on it.
Can you put this in our calendar? 7 years from today.
Let's put a gold coin on it.
Let's give it a
specifically plumbers. To be clear,
that's where this started.
Specifically plumbers.
And hold on, to be very specific. Eliminate like there are 0 plumbers in the world? Absolutely not. Nothing is absolute, right? But no,
that's what I just said.
No. But understand, if we're already at a deficit for plumbers or tradesmen, it's going to get even lower for the tradesmen that are needed in 10 years because of what's happening right now, because of literally not being able to fill the demand for all of the tradesmen that are needed currently. And there are not schools and people really pushing. Look at the under 25s. None of them are really excited about going into trades, even more so than we weren't, right? Like, so from that, the businesses are going to have to figure this thing out. If you can't get labor, what is your next solution? You're not just going to go out of business.
I think there's two. I think, as demand increases and supply decreases, you either pay them more, which is what has been happening. It's actually quite impressive how wages have been going up for quite a few people in the industry because of the demand. Or you come up with alternative to that labor. And just like with all of my being, I'm trying to convey that there's too many variables. We're talking about a combination of robotics where, there's going to have to be like all-terrain ones. Like the closest I've seen to this is on highways, where it like pitches certain grades at things, but there's still a driver in the seat. He's just a lot less specialized.
That's fine. But that's what I'm saying. Technology gets us to third base or third and a half base. You will always need a human for something, but the amount of humans needed to get the job done will be less and less and less over time, even in the trades. It's not going to be the same. Yes.
No, bro, I'm looking 10 years. I'm looking 10 years. Let's lock it in.
That broad of a statement, less and less usage or necessity of people over time. I can't disagree with that one. But there's an absolute hard limit. There's a hard limit on trades.
There is a hard limit one, and the absolute number of 10 to general increase. Absolutely. Like if we have 100,000 plumbers now, we will have 101 next year, 102 next, 103, 100. It will continue to grow, guaranteed. Because if you look at the last 20 years, that's exactly what has happened.
Yeah, I just
That's
don't
exactly
agree.
what has happened.
I understand. I just don't agree because I don't think that's
And in
what
that
will
span of
continue to
time,
happen.
and in that span of time, technology has improved. Would you agree?
Of course, but
Okay.
not in that industry. We haven't. There are industries and segments that have not been attacked
So you think
by
all of a sudden they're going to
technology.
hyper focus on plumbing?
Quick time check. We're 10
Somebody
minutes
that
in.
owns.
We're 10 minutes in.
No, this is important. The people want to know this.
This is important.
The people want to know this.
But
No,
this
because
is important.
what you're saying doesn't make sense, bro. Because if you look at the last 20 years, the number has steady. I mean, like without any variation. You can look it up right now. The number has steadily grown over the last 20 plus years, right? And we're not getting less houses. And the house and guys, like honestly, older houses are worth more than newer houses. Like that's just a general fact in real estate. Older houses are worth more than newer houses because the cost of replacement is significantly higher. So if I built this building right here in San Francisco, building a new one is going to cost me so much more. It's just like it doesn't even make sense. So this one that's already here is actually worth more all the time. So the technology that exists here, right, is kind of set. It's kind of stagnant. Like you need to work around that. You can't just come in and like, let's rebuild this whole thing. And in fact, actually, there was a project that was done, I believe it was in 2012, where there was this huge push towards machine reconstructed houses or like fabricated, like just like brand new houses that were, I think they call them refab or something. Correct me if I'm wrong here. But that project completely fell on its face. Completely fell on its face. Guess who stopped it? Some of the people that stopped it.
Someone in real estate or banks.
People who are already making money off of it. Why? We don't need that technology. We good. We good.
Right.
we
I'm
doing
saying.
all right.
We're gonna put this on wax, guys, because I hear all the things you're saying.
This would be a great topic, though. I'm down to spend some time.
I still just have a counter. You know what I mean? I have a counter on that side because I think our world and business and technology changes so much and will change so much that I don't think we've seen any of the technologies that are going to change how we think about these types of jobs, these types of things, right? Like, but either way.
Lock this episode down. Hembo, lock this episode down. We need this in 10 years.
Episode 73.
Yeah, I have so much to say about this.
I
could go into a detailed breakdown of each and every trade and just how plausible. You know what? I'm doing it.
We're gonna
side episode with Stu.
Exactly. We're gonna have a side episode. We might do a live or something and talk about it.
The line of thinking you have, Chris, though, is the same line of thinking that people project that by 2020 we'll have flying cars.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's the same line of thinking.
I love how twice you've thrown out these statements. You're like, no, it's not a call out. It's not a call out.
But it's not, though, because
it's the same line of thinking.
It's not the same line of thinking.
Technology's going so fast. It's going fast, but there's a line of deviation going on here.
Yes, and all we're talking about is the replacing of jobs. Like that happens very quickly. That happens very
maybe
quickly.
For flipping burgers.
For all types of industries. Put it across.
Actually, not even for flipping burgers. They still got a lot of people.
They're still burgers. Yeah, and they're still trying to figure out the robot side on flipping burgers. But like in general, like all of the industries, because remember, business is about bottom line. We would love to make it about other things, and people that are good in business, we like to make it about people, right? And growing. But many corporations and many big businesses in industries care about that bottom line. If they go through enough years of not being able to make profit from their bottom line, they will figure out a solution. You already said there's plenty of technology out there. We have no idea what it is. I promise you, the tops of these companies, if they lose enough money over enough years, will figure out how to get away from people. Whether you think it's in 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, 20 years, 25 years.
That general statement is not incorrect. That general statement is not incorrect. But then to extrapolate from that and say like there will be no plumbers.
But like I said,
there's a big gap.
But I'm telling you. So again, take the statement I said, and then no absolutes. It's not going to be zero plumbers, But there will be, if you want to use the same,
There will
number
not
that you
even be
said,
less. There will be
there will
more.
be less. There
No,
absolutely
there will be
less.
more. Okay, that's the
Absolutely.
bet then. There will be more plumbers
All right, what is
every
what are we
year
putting at
after
stake?
this.
What are we putting at stake on this?
One
bet?
gold coin.
One gold coin. Done and done.
Yes, and
I think-
future value. Nah, not right now. Whatever the value of gold coins is, then that's what I want.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
And by that I mean an ounce, by the way.
And
He's not shaking. He's not shaking.
I know,
Hippo,
right?
noted.
Come on, we need this. We need this.
Oh, it's
There
shook.
we go.
It's shook. I
It's
got
shook.
mine ready.
We're in.
I got
We're
mine
in.
ready. I'm ready to go.
We're in. 10 years, 2032, June of
Every single
2033.
year from this point until then, there will be an increase every single year of plumbers. Every single year.
Okay. So I'm gonna get that gold coin in 2032.
No, you're not, bro.
And we're gonna,
No, you're not.
We're gonna
No
take
way.
a look at
No
where
way.
things are at. That's okay. It's okay. Listen.
Now that we're here, I need to look up the number of plumbers. We need to
Oh
see
yeah,
what-
that's probably smart. By the way, for those of you
we
that are
talking
joining us,
US? We talking worldwide?
U.S. to be safe.
yeah, let's go US.
Yeah,
That's all.
U.S.
Because
Global, you don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
people don't value toilets as much.
that's what I was gonna say. Like, there might be no plumbers in some countries. Like,
Oh, baby. All right. Do you guys want me?
yes, we do.
All right.
With that
There are-
reaction,
Yes,
there are
we do.
currently, now this is from the very esteemed careerexplorer.com, totally legitimate resource I'm pulling up here. There are currently an estimated 480,600 plumbers in the United States. The plumber job market is expected to grow by 15.6% between 2016 and 2026. So that's from now to 2026, assuming that this was correct in 2016. Then that means that we're still going to experience roughly.
Can you get an actual number? Because if that is from 2016, it's saying it's 400 and something thousand. That was 8 years ago. Be very curious to see what it is in 2022. What that would be.
I feel very.
That was
good about
6
my
years
shit.
ago. Well, that was
Oh,
6
whatever.
years ago.
Six years.
We're
8
talking
years.
numbers.
I don't get paid. I don't get paid to do math. Listen, I don't get paid to do math. I just get paid to talk about it. That's all. Which is what we're
This
supposed to talk
is
about.
master plumbers only. Right now, there's 225,000 master plumbers currently in the U.S., but there's a whole lot of plumbers underneath master plumbers. So, man, why is this number so hard?
Because they've been dying slowly. For sure.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus.
Oh,
if you are a plumber, we support you. We support you here. At
We're
least I do. I don't know about Chris, but
We're
I
an
support
equal
you
opportunity
in having a
platform.
job.
We're an equal opportunity platform.
You
Listen,
will have a job.
I
And
want
if
you to
you're,
have,
if you're,
on the
if you're a
census.
kid,
I want, because people
It should
lie
be
on
like
the
a census statistic.
if you are a child, if you are in high school or whatnot, and university is not for you, nothing wrong with picking up a plumber job and learning financial literacy on the side, getting yourself a little side business, getting yourself something going. 5 years, 10 years, you smart enough, you'd be good to go.
or
It could be makes a lot of points. And if you learn that trade, you can literally open up your own business so easily. It doesn't even have to be your side business. You become the master plumber and you just start going. Actually, you don't even, I'm not even sure if you have to become a master plumber to start your own gig.
sure,
I have a client that is a tradesman, and this is completely an option for him. He has the choice between employment or self-employment in a very, very stable industry. That, well, stable according to me.
stable for
Very-
now, because we all know all industries.
Now what?
Because what else? What other industry is so stable? There's like, oh, I just did this for 40 years.
Construction is the
Currently.
second oldest industry in the world. It's been around the block.
I understand it's still
But
not
I-
stable.
But unintended, given the first oldest industry in the world.
Yeah,
I can say with strong conviction that plumbing is very stable. Very,
right
very
now,
stable.
Right
No,
now,
no.
and for the past 20 years, probably. But I'm telling you,
What? 20 years? I'm
Whatever.
talking like
whatever,
Romans.
100, 200,
The Roman era.
but they weren't called plumbers. Back
They
then.
were-
They didn't even have.
Oh,
right?
sorry. So they were called
That was
Mario. They were
2001,
called
right?
Mario. Super Mario. That's what they were called.
Whatever they were called, regardless of it,
As long as the legend of Mario lives on, plumbers will be strong.
and he
Bro,
will.
There's this is not a this is
That's a
like
bar.
plumber
Hello. Let's
is
just
like
put that all over
the
my
number
Instagram.
one of all these jobs here, bro. I'm telling you, dog.
Listen, gold
I'm
coin.
telling you.
Gold coin 10 years. I'm down. The bet is on the table. If we could find that number of exactly how many plumbers there are currently in 2022,
Oh, we've got it time stamped. We
we do.
can
We'll
back
be good.
search. We can
Yeah,
back search.
we'll be good. But understand, jobs are going to be taken away, right?
No
Technology
question,
will
jobs are
taken
going to
away,
be taken.
and there will be less. There will
No
be less
question, jobs are
need.
going to
There will
be
be
taken.
less need for people. Here's my theory, and then I guess we got to jump into today. We're really diving into some more kind of stuff from last week about legacy. And today we're going to go kind of like financial legacy on the generational wealth building side of things. And we're going to have some conversation. I think that's where we're going to go because I lost my last train of thought. So it is what it is. We're here.
Yeah,
Welcome.
make it happen.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome. You got a chance to hear our extended conversation from our pregame that we're holding over here. And we got into some good conversations about, what's going to happen in the future with technology. I firmly believe that people are going to be needed less, but either way, maybe not in plumbing. Maybe not, guys. Anyways, we're here. Let's dive into
Definitely not into plumbing. Definitely not.
I think 480,000 is still the best guess.
If it's still the best guess,
The internet says.
We'll backtrack this.
Yeah, I'm
Go
sure.
ahead. My fault.
But
Sorry to interrupt.
that's okay. But let's dive in. Because again, this is the Good Life Visual Audio Podcast, guys. I got obviously Stu here. Say hello again, Stu.
What's up, y'all?
Guys, Kobi is here arguing with me already, but say what's up, Kobi.
What up, Doe? Shout out plumbers.
For the trades.
For the trades, plumbers, we do love
Man
you.
of the people.
We have just made Chris public plumber enemy number one.
Totally. I'm gonna get so much. I'm gonna get
This
so
man
much
hates
plumber.
toilets.
I'm gonna get so much plumber and trade hate in my social. It's all good though.
All press is good press.
That's
Tell all your
right.
friends. Chris hates plumbers.
That's right. Please don't
Oh,
tell them that. I love plumbers. I think I might need a toilet fix here.
We love plumbers.
Yo, we love them. Love them.
Yeah.
Great guys and girls.
Either way, we're here. We're here. I love you plumbers also, but I also love to talk about our topic today, which is
Like
money.
Biden when he says he likes black people, huh?
Listen.
Can you get an I Heart Plumbers like mug now to save your reputation?
I think I might need that. One of y'all should gift it to me since you damaged. I blame you for damaging my reputation.
It won't come from a plumber, that's for sure.
I know it
Oh,
probably
man.
won't. But plumbers, I love you for real.
If it does, I wouldn't trust where it's been.
I don't know if that's how you do it. Heart. Not the stuff we want to think about. What do we want to think about? We want to have a conversation today about generational wealth. It's going to be a shorter conversation, but it's going to be impactful. We're going to dive in coming off of the back of what we talked about last week on our episode. We talked about, because it was Father's Day, talked about what does it mean to have a legacy, to pass down the legacy, right? To the legacy conversation. And from a financial standpoint, generational wealth, building generationally is a form of legacy, right? It's a form of legacy. It's a form of something people get behind. So that's what we're going to touch on today. Before we dive in, as always, though, let's do a little roundtable of client stories or client takeaways from this week. Again, for the audience, if you're just tuning in for the first time here on The Good Life, we have Kobi, who's a health coach. We have Stu, who's a mindset and executive coach, lifestyle engineer. And then we have myself, who's on the wealth building financial side of things. So we, outside of this show, individually, what is that? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. If you're just listening to this, we're not even going to address what's happening if you just saw it, but it's all good.
It's a shitty conversation.
Oh, I see what you did there. Are we gonna get over this plumber thing? Is this gonna be
I don't think we will.
I don't know that we'll be able to get over this.
I need a Super Mario hat.
Oh my gosh. Let's figure this out. Quick round table of client takeaways. Again, we're having conversations with people. What are we getting? What do we want to share? Stu, dive in, man. Give me some takeaways you got for this week.
Wow. I feel like my whole palate has been cleansed by this plumber conversation. I don't have any plumber victories. Does anyone have one queued up? Because
I got you, bro. I got you. So
right, let me off the hook. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, not a problem. So for one thing I've been kind of having conversations with folks on is really shifting from thinking about health as a short-term thing to do to get somewhere, right? So, I need to lose 10 pounds. My doctor tells me I need to do this, or I gotta do this to get this. And shifting that mindset to a lifestyle based approach where the language then shifts from, this is just what I do, right? It's part of my routine to do this, right? I get to take care of myself. In my family, we care about our health. In my community, we care about this. Part of my lifestyle is to do this. It's just something that becomes part of the fabric of what it is that you do, or what it is that you're all about. So, I'll say this, like a fish doesn't know, a fish doesn't talk about swimming, right? Because they just a fish doesn't talk about swimming because they're in water. It's what's the difference, right? It is part of the fabric. And I think that shift will change a lot of things for a lot of people. And one way, there are a number of ways of accessing that. One way of accessing that is to do a deep dive into what is pulling and pushing you when you're taking on these activities. So if you find yourself every time you got to go work out, you're like, well, I just need to do this, or I got to check this off the list, or, I don't want to do this, but I got to do. If you're always in that conversation, it's a disempowering conversation, right? If you can switch that conversation around and, man, this is just part of, it's not a resistance every single time you're up to it. It makes a huge difference in the pursuing the lifestyle. So, that is a conversation I've been having with a number of different people this week. A conversation I realized that if we can really take on, will make a big difference. Because the overarching conversation around health in the U.S., I can speak to the U.S. specifically, is this kind of like a must do, have to do, like part of the checklist. Like that in and of itself adds stress, man.
For sure.
And that kind of defeats the purpose. Right? It's something we get to do. We get to enjoy. All right. So let's take that on. Try that on for size. If it fits you, keep it on. If it doesn't, go ahead and toss it out.
I love it. I love it. Somebody's gonna definitely take. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Chris.
No, I was just saying somebody's definitely gonna be able to take that and wear that, man. It's obviously it resonates, I'm sure, with a lot of people, because that self-defeating talk is big for people of what should be done, right? We just had that conversation of our shoulds. So
I'm so glad you just addressed it as self-defeating talk, because I think a lot of people may feel, I think some people would identify with the self-defeating nature of that, and others may think that is how they're supposed to hype themselves up to get the thing done, when in reality you're actually cutting yourself off at the legs, because you're making it feel like it's something you need and should do, when in reality this is something you want and can do.
Right.
So I think it's a beautiful reframe, dude.
Right. Real quick, right there. I think there's a difference between being on your last set of your hard workout and you got to like push yourself to go ahead and finish strong because you've hit your limit. But if you're just about starting and every single time right before you start, you're literally hitting your limit, that's a tough thing to sustain. So I think that there's a big reframe. It doesn't mean that, everything is going to be all joyful all the time. It could get there, but everything joyful all the time. But it means if you're literally, before you even start, you're like hitting your head against the wall to get going, chugging, two things of C4 hype drink, go ahead and listen to all this jack off music, right? And get them just to do one set. Oh, that's tough. That's putting yourself in a pretty high stress just to get that happen. So yeah, man, I clarify that because I appreciate that reframe you just did, bro.
I got two, so I'm just gonna go with one unless I get really excited and I can't stop myself. The first one is I've recently been looking at everything I do for self-care. I've stopped thinking of it in terms of just routine. Not everything I do for self-care has to be a part of my routine. I've been walking my clients through this shift I've been going through for them to try on for size, just like Kobi put it out there. Try this on for size. Check this out. There are some things that you may experience as you're learning what works for you for self-care that you want to be a part of your routine, and other things that you just want to save to self-soothe as needed versus routine. So for me personally, I've been finding that getting outside, because I work inside in a remote capacity, and exercising, some things that I took for granted that I would do because I was always climbing around the job site outside, those things to me have to become routine. But there are other things that I found, like meditation and journaling, that I don't need to do routine. Actually doing them every day makes me hate them. I don't want to do them every day. It's not fun. It takes the joy out of it, which diminishes the return. So I would say for everybody out there that's trying to figure out, like, what is the perfect routine for me? You don't have to include the laundry list of things that every single person says. Just trial and error some stuff. Figure out what you need to be doing every day as your anchoring routine. I don't know why there's so many noises. Now I got a cicada outside my window again. Figure out what needs to be done every day, and then figure out what needs to self-soothe. Don't let anybody on the internet force you to do one way or the other. Just try things out. But don't force yourself to just do things day after day, because the things you love will become the things that you hate. And all of a sudden you don't do them at all. You can't even look at them twice. So just figure out the pattern that works for you. And I'll stop there because for whatever reason, my whole apartment's making noise right now.
Because you're talking good stuff, man.
I'm hyping up these cicadas.
Yeah, even the cicadas are giving you some love. But
they don't pay me, man. It's fucking bullshit.
Maybe you could work on that, Stu.
That's my new niche. Send all the cicadas my way, please.
The cicada niche. No, but solid stuff. Again, these are the takeaways that we're getting from our clients, and just obviously going through the process. So making sure that you have that balance in what you do, so it's not diminishing returns, right? Is going to be important. So good stuff. On my side, I'm gonna keep this one real simple, because I had this conversation actually probably 3 different times this week, and it wasn't specifically with the client. It was with people that were about to become or thinking about. And I just want to stress this to everyone that's listening, everyone on LinkedIn, everybody on the podcast right now that's listening. You need a coach. Okay? Like, you need a coach. If you didn't think so before, if you've never worked with anyone, or you didn't have anybody financially or with your health or in your right lifestyle or in your mindset, if you've never worked with anyone, I'm going to tell you, you need a coach, right? We all have blind spots. We all have areas in our life that we're not aware of. There's always information that maybe we don't have, that literally we need to get from an expert or someone that's been there. I've had conversations with a couple people this week where I'm literally having conversations talking about what we do or how we could helping them put a financial plan in place. Literally, they came because they had a financial question or some financial thing going on in their life. But then when we start diving in, they make it sound like everything's okay, right? Like, everything's good. Like, I'm like, but we're here for a reason, right? And I know you've been used to doing things yourself. I know you've been used to doing everything and kind of taking it on yourself and learning it from the internet or asking a friend or a coworker. I know that's how normally we've done it, but you got to get a coach, and you got to get into the space where that person's an expert and can help you down the path. So that is the message. Super simple. You need a coach. I'm a financial coach. Like, you got to do it from in a financial space. Like, no one teaches us money. If they do, it's our parents, it's our peers. Potentially it's the internet. If you happen to get around some really good or smart, financially savvy people, they might drop some things on you. But in general, we got to kind of learn this thing ourselves unless we get around people. That's why you need a coach, because some of the things you've learned might not be helping you get to where you got to go. They always would say in golf, right? A lot of times you need to get a golf coach or somebody to coach you in golf for your swing at the beginning, before you go out on the range, before you go out and play an 18-hole course, because if you start playing and trying to learn, it's harder to then correct your bad habits that you've already created than if you just started clean with a coach. They'll tell you exactly how to swing the club. It's the same thing with our money, with our health, with our life, right? With our mindset. It's really a matter of working with a coach, a lot of times we've already had this information. It's already been programmed. So now there is some unlearning and relearning we have to do. And that's why you need a coach. So that's my client takeaway this week.
Well, second that for sure. I think yeah, we'll second that for sure. Yeah, you definitely do. You said something in the financial space. Like I hear a lot of, friends who are maybe doctors, lawyers, or whatever, and they're like, oh, I have a financial advisor. That's not necessarily a coach.
That's right.
Maybe you can speak a little bit more to that. But like from my experience, that is not necessarily a coach, especially if you have a high income. That's not a coach, my friend. They want your money to do stuff with. That's not somebody that's there to teach you and equip you as to how to fish. Your doctor is not a health coach. Like they're not. That's not what they're there for. Your surgeon is not a health coach. I know this is very tough to understand sometimes, but it's what they do. No, it's not. Most doctors do not receive any nutritional instructions in their entire career. Most people don't understand this. So let me repeat. Most doctors, like a vast majority of doctors, know nothing about what we should be consuming to have our body perform, look, and feel its best. That's not what they're taught. That's not what they do. They're taught to memorize a whole bunch of prescriptions and their interactions and all of that stuff. They may go a surgeon may go their entire career without taking a single course on nutrition at all. That's why you go to doctor's offices and you see people being advised to gouge down on McDonald's or to go out and go do. It's like, wait, what? Where even your common sense tells you that, oh, I don't know if that's the thing to do. They're not. And I see something very similar, right? I'll speak to my experience with therapists. Right?
I'm so glad. Please.
I'll speak with my experience with therapists. They're not necessarily a coach. There's a difference. They may sit there and listen to you. It's a big difference between being sitting there and somebody listening to you and then saying, great, so see you next week. Right. Or, oh, awesome. So my experience was they listened to me for 15 minutes, maybe, and then prescribed me something.
Ew.
That was my experience.
15 minutes?
Bro, 15 minutes.
Can I ask how old you were for this?
No, you cannot. You always do this. But
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. You don't have to say no. It's cool. I really don't mind. I know. I'm interested.
I appreciate you. I hate follow-up questions. but this speaks to what we all do here. We are filling a gap in the industry, whether it's your mind, your wallet, or your body. There's a gap in the industry. There's a gap. And we've been taught if you're having mind issues, go see a therapist. I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying don't assume they can solve all your problems. If you're having any sort of ailment, go see a doctor. What doctor? Which one? Right? If you don't know what to do with your money, go get a financial advisor from JP Morgan. That might be one of the worst things you do. Right. So I just, I took a lot of time here, but it's so critical, bro. I appreciate you really saying that, man, because we don't say it enough. There's a giant gap, guys. There's a huge gap. Mm-hmm. Right. And medically, I can go even further, but no need to do that right now. You need a coach. People who are coach walk you through things. You're a player on the field. They give you information. They have a survey of everything going on. They look at your situation. They see where you want to go. You want to win the championship. They say, okay, this is what you're doing. Do this, and this differently. Try that. Come back. Let's see if it works. Blah, 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 and go back. It's very different. Coaching is very, very different. So if you're hearing this somewhere, I would actually love somebody to comment on this. This might be the big thing for today. Do you see any of these gaps? what is your experience? Do you have any stories around any one of these gaps? Right? Do you have any stories around that you can I know so many folks, for example, that come to me, it's like, oh, I saw this doctor and they told me X, Y, and Z and it didn't work. Da, da, da. Guys, we have second, third, and fourth opinions for a reason. Because even within their particular field, just because you're a doctor doesn't mean you're a good doctor. All right.
All right. He's got to mute himself. Because
Actually, he just got muted by the overlords.
Right, exactly. That was the one.
I'm gonna do something crazy, and I'm gonna submit my hand to not just second but third this notion that you need a coach. Because guess what? Like, there's not a single thing that you have learned how to do in life that you have not received some type of insight or suggestion or learning by example from another human being. No chance. Nothing. I would love for somebody to try and tell me what this is. Like, it's so invaluable to have somebody come into your space. You know, for me, from like the life coaching perspective, my job is to understand your perspective and your view on reality. It's also to look at me and what I've seen from my other clients, from my research, from life in general. And I kind of figure out, like, where do you see reality? What's different from what a lot of other people see? Like, what could you be overlooking? Like, what are some things that you might have a blind spot around? Like, our job here is to teach you. If we were all consultants, we would just straight up tell you what to do and give you a list and we'd walk away. But it's the suggestions that you take on, you take the ownership of, you go out there into your world, you do the trial and error. So it's the sessions with the perspectives and the education, and then it's the trial and error, and it's the coming back, and through that you become smarter. Yes, I just said that. My job is to make people smarter in whatever you're dealing with. I want you to be able to be more intelligent, and I can't make you be more intelligent by me just telling you what to do all the time. That's a consultant. That's not me. That's boring. It's straight up boring for me. So I'm really glad you guys are bringing this up. And specifically when it comes to the therapist piece, there are good therapists out there. There are bad ones. I've heard both from my clients. There are good coaches out there. There are bad ones. Good doctors is everything. You know, we are not immune to this as an industry of coaches. Like, we do have some rotten eggs, of course. You've probably heard about them. And they want to cast us as all these terrible people. Guess what? My thing about therapists between coaches, like the difference is the therapist, yes, they're there for a sounding board. They're excellent at creating sounding boards if they are an excellent therapist. Sometimes they cast judgment. Sometimes they advise you. Interestingly enough, they're actually stepping out of their roles, but they may be very good if they're good at doing that. But the problem is, are they informing you that this is not always going to be the right answer? They're giving a best guess. You know, as coaches, we try and introduce this stuff to you as like, hey, here are all the options. Like, here would be my recommendations. And if I see you doing the same thing and you're ignoring the recommendation, I might lean a little heavily into the recommendation just so you go out there and try it. So you come back with your own lessons learned. So I'm glad you brought that up, Chris. And Kobi, I want to echo that sentiment of, we don't bring this up enough. We really try not to push like coaches. But at the end of the day, like, when I look back at the things I've gotten a lot better at, I couldn't have done it without anybody else.
That's right.
And most of my clients are thrilled when they get to that light bulb moment of, why the fuck have I been doing this on my own for all this time? Been wasting my time.
That's right. And it's so funny. And again, it looks like we're just going to double click on this last part here, because you're right, Stu. We don't dive in enough. We don't dive in enough to tell you how important it is that you have a coach, right? This isn't necessarily something that people are the most comfortable with or starting that process, right? Like, how do you find a coach? The reason why we jump on and do this is so we make ourselves accessible to you guys. So, you know, hey, if I am struggling in my health or I have questions in my health, you know, you can go to Kobi. If you do need help in your mindset, in your relationships, and how you're thinking about life and designing it, you can go to Stu. If you need help in your money and you are open enough to ask someone, because that's the key, you know that I'm here. You can reach out. We're giving.
And he's great. I literally work with him, so I recommend it.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Stu. And again, a lot of times we don't go about knowing that other people are even working with someone financially, or other people are working with a coach. Sometimes we're not, our clients or the people we work with don't talk to other people about it either. So that's why we have to bring it out to you to let you know, like, this is incredibly important. You've got to make sure if there's a place you want to get to in life, if you want to design your life to get to a place, you are going to need guidance. You are going to need guidance. Just like Kobi said, you're playing a game. You're playing, either it's the health game, the money game, the mind game, the relationship game, the spiritual game. You're playing a game, and you got to understand that you're going to need people to help you along that path. It's not just you. It's not just you. There are people that are further ahead that can help you guide, that can help guide you down that path. And you have to be open enough to reach out and say, hey, I might need a little help in this area. Hey, this is something that I've been dealing with. I just need another perspective on it. And to be honest, I just speak for me and the people I work with. A lot of times I'm working with people for like 4 or 5 sessions, and they got it because I'm planning. Like, most times they understand it. Once you get a little information and a little guidance, they're good. Then we're meeting every quarter, every other month, right? Twice a year. But at the end of the day, you need somebody to say, hey, you were going this direction. Let's just straighten it up a little bit. And let's think about these things. And let's go that direction. And if you do it, trust me, you're going to get better results. So that's why we highly, highly encourage all of you that are listening and everyone that follows the show and listens to the show to take us up on our offers, right? Take us up on, like, knowing that we can help you, or any coach, right? We're advocating for us. Obviously, we know our skills, right? But there's plenty of coaches. Just like Stu said, there's some good, there's some bad. So you got to do your due diligence and find out, but it for sure will be needed. So guys, have anything else that you wanted to share on that one side?
And I'll say we're open to questions, open to questions. That's the one thing. You don't need to pay a ton of money to sit down with any one of us to ask questions and to inquire about how we can potentially be helpful to you. And I can speak for myself, but I'll bet a gold coin that these two would agree that if we can't help you, we'll let you know can't help you and refer you to somebody that can.
That's right. That's right.
And if you're a plumber, come to me and Kobi.
Shut it.
I'll take good care of you. Take good care of you.
I'll still help with your money, plumbers. I love you. I love you. For real. I do care.
He thinks you're going to be out of a job.
And I'm going to protect you. And I'm going to protect you to make sure.
And that's the funny part about it.
Financially, you're okay.
Chris, I didn't see this. Good plan. This is
see how I worked with that?
There you go.
That's it. And I'll share the screen really quickly here, so you guys can see it. This is a great time to dive in. Know that we are hosting, right? We are hosting our Summer of Success workshop coming up in July. This is when you guys get full access to myself, Kobi, and Stu in a 4-hour window where we're going to really dive in and give you all of this stuff that we're talking about here. We're going to dive into health. We're going to dive into wealth. We're going to dive into mindset. Guys, do you remember, do you want to give the people exactly what we're talking about? Kobi, you are, I know this one's going to be a big one for you and a good one for you. You want to tell the people kind of what you're talking about on this workshop?
Yeah. It's funny that you throw that out here. Guys, we're going to be talking about health.
It's all
and I'll be talking about mindset.
I'm just getting back to you because of the plumber stuff. That's all. It's just the plumber stuff.
Oh man. We're really gonna revisit.
Chris is gonna be hosting a plumber special.
Gonna be revisiting kind of the core tenets of what I really believe as a coach and the way that I've gotten results for myself and my clients. Focusing on the gut, but what happens, but specifically on this round, we talked about the gut and food addiction last time. Specifically this round, focusing on how to start if you haven't started already, taking care of your gut. And if you have started, or if you can't get started on a solid food vacation, what is an easy way to get going right now? Like, what can you do right now to hop onto a system that's going to make a difference? Whether you are looking for aesthetic results, belly fat, weight gain, any of that stuff, whether you're looking for kind of longevity, vitality results, you have any issues with blood pressure, all that, any of that stuff, or whether you're looking for performance type based results, whether you're low on energy or your anxiety is high and things of that nature, how you can take that, how you can take a simple step to hit each and every one of those areas right away. That's really what we're going to be focusing on this time around on the health side.
Awesome. Stu, what about you, man? What are you going over in this Summer of Success workshop?
Well, I was actually just looking for the breakdown of what I was going over, and I couldn't find it while Kobi was talking. So I'm going to go ahead and break it down to, overall, for those that haven't been paying attention, like we're going after the corporate athletes, like those individuals that are really trying to like hustle and maintain the energy, the organization, the just the mindset to just get after it in life. Specifically, I'm going to be doing a combination of some business development stuff for the solopreneurs, but also some more of the mindset type things on how to just take care of your headspace. Now, for a lot of people that are corporate athletes, you may be putting that on the back burner, but there's a lot of things that go into your headspace that are necessary to be in check, like your relationships on a personal level. Because as Kobi, Chris, and I have alluded to in the past, you're an extension of your business. Your business is an extension of you, excuse me. So if you want to have a solid business, a solid just career path, like whatever you are attempting to create, you have to have a good foundation. And for a lot of people, that requires strong personal relationships, a strong relationship with yourself, and just I'm going to be providing you with tools to make sure that you're not carrying around unnecessary negative energy, confusion, chaos up here. I want you to be calm, cool, and collected for anything that you come across.
That's huge. That's huge. And that's going to empower so many people. On our side, on my side, on the money side, many of you have heard me talk about the 101, 202, 303 level of money. This workshop is going to be a little bit more of that 202 level. We're going to be talking a little bit about organizing your money, how your cash is actually flowing, right? Do you have, if you are an entrepreneur or solopreneur, do you have your business set up, your money set up properly where it's coming from a business account then going into a personal account? Do we understand our savings? Do we understand where we should be investing that money if we have a business or if we don't? We're going to really dive into some of those money topics on our Summer of Success, at our Summer of Success workshop. Again, it's coming up, guys, July the 24th. Right there on the bottom of your screen, it has the link bit.ly/TGL mid-year. Sign up for the event. It's a free event. If you sign up, I believe before the end of June, we're entering you into a raffle. So there's a raffle. We're going to be able to pull somebody's name. One lucky winner is going to get sent some books from us off of our personal book list. And again, to continue to allow you to push yourself towards designing the life that you want, these books are going to be great resources for you. So again, sign up for our mid-year event. This was just a good time to let you know that we are hosting this and we're doing this for free for you to get value. Invite people that you know that are those corporate athletes, those entrepreneurs, those people that are striving to get better in their work, in their life, with their family, in their health, and in their mindset. Reach out to them, share this link with them, share this live with them, share this podcast audio with them. And hopefully we get a chance to see all of you guys coming up July 24th, which is a Sunday, I believe, on Zoom. So, gents, we were supposed to talk about generational wealth. That's what we were supposed to do. So I apologize for anybody that jumped in thinking this was about generational wealth.
Psych.
Psych. Gotcha. Anyway, we will have that conversation. Before I let us all go, let's do one quick roundtable to answer one question, because this will lead into when we have this generational wealth conversation. In a minute, guys, in 1 minute, tell me what's more important to you, cash flow or net worth? In 1 minute, Give me your idea. What's more important to you? Is it your cash flow or your net worth?
All right. I'll go ahead and get us started here. I know we didn't talk about generational wealth, but if you want to have wealth for an extended period of time, generation after generation, it is critical that you have a plumber in your family. Oh man, that's
I thought I was gonna get away without any more plumbers. I thought, but I left it
I'm
open.
done.
Obviously.
I'm done. Cash flow all day. Cash flow all day. Do you want a why, or are we good with that?
Maybe we revisit the why on the next time, the next episode. So we'll mark this that Kobi's answer is cash flow.
All day.
Stu, what's yours?
Cash flow. And as any good professional knows, especially plumbers, like you got to have a good flow going in and out. And if you're talking about money, Chris is your money plumber.
All right, guys. Clearly, I'm not going to get away from this plumbing thing tonight. Plumbers, I apologize. Listen, if I've hurt your feelings or given you any doubts about your life choices, I honestly apologize. I'm just telling you that you might want to think about something different in the next 10 years. But anyway, that being said, my answer, net worth.
Oh.
From a financial guy, understand that generational transformation happens with net worth, not with cash flow. Right. So if that's the goal, you got to start having that conversation. But that's what we're going to have on another time we jump back on, because I think it's important to have. And we talked too much about plumbers today, even though I love you, plumbers, I love you for real. So we talked a lot about you today.
Now, Professor,
mechanics, we got you next.
Welders, electrician, mechanics are coming up next. No, who's taking us out, guys? Kobi or Stu, take us out, man. We're at the end.
I'll take us out.
Cool.
All right, so that's it for us today. No more plumber talk. Tune in next week for the rest of the trades. If you guys like what you heard, subscribe, smash that like button. Tune in next Monday for another good one. Perhaps a little bit more on topic, but maybe not as fun. Who knows? You got to tune in and find out. And honestly, share this with anybody that would love or hate this, including tradesmen, because all press is good press. So until next time, guys, keep living the good life.
Don't share this with a plumber. Don't.
Do it. How about the plumber?
Peace.
See you guys.
Welcome to the good life.
Plumbers, I love you.